assignments turned in. So again, we're still doing all our classifying, scaling, isosceles, equilateral, all the good things. But we have to, of course, graph it, distance formula, all of that to figure it out. So easy enough to kick it off. Plot and label the following points. Okay, start graphing the points. And label, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm just going to label A. So B, negative 4, 6. So left 4, up 6. And C, negative 2, left 2, down 4. Okay. So we're just going to connect it, make your triangle. So that was easy enough. I like that part. The next part's going to be fun. Make sure we've got the triangle plotted and drawn. So notice the next thing, which is on my next slide. Clearly I can't fit it all on one slide. Find the length of each side. We have to do distance formula for all 3 sides. So get yourself ready for that. So find the length of each side. So I'm just going to look back at the picture. It doesn't matter which side you do. There's 3 sides on the triangle. We have to do all 3. I'm just going to do side AB, the top one first. So we're going to use our distance formula. Now you have them. I'm just going to put them so we have the ordered pairs in front of us. Remember, A was at 6, 8, and B was at negative 4, 6. And you know I like to label the points, x1, y1, x2, y2. I know I'm getting carried away, as usual, right? So I'm just going to plug it into my distance formula. x2 minus x1, bless you, squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, I'm going to give you a second, maybe more than a second. Punch that in. And it doesn't say what to round to. Let's just go to 1 decimal place. Let's go to the 10. So you didn't have to punch that in. Say that again. I'm sorry, what, Parker? So let's round it up. It would round to 10.2 then. So you should get 10.2 when you punch that in your calculator. All right, so I'm going to, label on the picture. Side AB, that was the top one. Got it? All right, next up, doesn't matter which side you do. I'm going to do the left side. I'm going to do BC next. And again, just so they're in front of us, of course, B was at negative 4, 6. I'm just jotting down the ordered pairs, and C was negative 2, negative 4. I'm going to label as always. You might already have this set up and be punching it in. Let's put all the info down. Okay, so again, just formulas on the board, plugging the numbers in. x2 minus x1, negative 2 minus negative 4 squared, y2 minus y1, negative 4 minus 6 squared. Let's make this a plus. I'm going to give you a minute. Punch it in. Don't yell out the answer. See what you get. And just don't yell out the answer. Just take a minute. Or you can try it. The sound of calculator, please. Should have some Jeopardy music playing right now. That's what we need. All right, what do you have for this side? 10 point. So if you round it, what do you have? 10.2 if we round it to the 1 decimal place. So I know we're going to do the third side, but let's practice our vocabulary. What's 2 congruent sides? What's the name of that? Isosceles. So I'm thinking maybe isosceles, but I don't know if the other side's congruent also. So I'm just going to label side BC with 10.2. I don't know what AC is. We have to figure that one out yet. So 1 more round of distance formula. So again, you have them in front of you. I'm just going to jot down the ordered pairs. So they're right here for us too. 6, 8, C, negative 2, negative 4. I'm going to label. You probably already have it punched in. All right, distance formula. And we do need all 3 sides. You'll see we're going to use it here in another problem in a minute. So I'm going to do x2 minus x1 plus y2 minus y1. All right, let me give you a minute. Punch it in. Don't yell it out. Just punch it in. of math. Alrighty, probably, I'm guessing, maybe you have the answer. What do you got? Agree, yes. Okay, so I'm just gonna, back to the picture, I'm just gonna label. So, the next question, of course, asks us to classify by sides and angles. Well, let's do sides right now. Two congruent sides, what is the vocab word for that? Isosceles, we said. So I'm just gonna go to this and put isosceles. Okay, let's go back to the picture because we have to decide by the angles. Remember your choices for angles: acute, right, obtuse, equiangular. 4 choices. Okay, so looking at the angles, I think we could probably rule out obtuse. Doesn't look like there's any angle over 90. So I think that's probably gone. Equiangular, I can rule that out too because it's not equilateral. Remember, the equals always go together. Since you don't have all the same sides, it's not equiangular. So really I'm down to, is it acute or is it right? So I'm looking at it as like, is there any right angles in the picture? This, of course, looks acute to me, A. C looks acute. This is the one I'm questioning. Is this a right angle? And we know I can't draw very straight, so let's not base it off my drawing skills. To know, of course, precisely and accurately, I want to know, are these lines perpendicular? What do you know about slopes of perpendicular lines? Slope, slope, slope. How do slopes of perpendicular lines relate? You gotta switch 2 things. So the numbers, you gotta switch the numbers. Top goes to bottom, bottom goes to top. Reciprocals. What else is different about the slopes? If one's positive, the other has to be negative. So I'm just gonna do some plain old boring rise over run counting and see what the slopes, if they're opposite reciprocal. So I'm not gonna get crazy. I'm just gonna count first. I'm gonna do this side. Doesn't matter, you do B to C, C to B, let's count it. I'm gonna do C to B. So let's count the rise. I gotta go up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I had to go up 10, left 2. So let's simplify that. What's 10 over -2? -5. So I'm just gonna put the slope of this line, -5. Okay, then let's count the slope from B to A. Now, again, I'm not going to get crazy and do a bunch of work. I'm just going to count rise over run. So from going from B to A, you have to go up how many? Up 2, and right how many? I'm going to let you count it. 10. I heard it. What does that reduce to? Okay, so here's the question. Is -5 and +1/5 opposite and reciprocals? Yes. So is that a right angle? Yes. So I'm going to put a little right angle symbol on it. I'm going to click ahead here. And I'm also going to say it is a right triangle. Okay. So the right part, to me, that's not that big of a deal. Counting rise over run for the slope. It's the distance formula part that's irritating. So last thing, find the area and perimeter. Okay. Well, we did some area yesterday in the warm-up problems. And notice I have the formula over there on the board for you, base height over 2. So let's go back to the picture here. So if we're going to do the area of the triangle, base times height is divided by 2. Well, remember, the base and the height always make a right angle. And it doesn't matter if you think of this as the base or this is the height, or vice versa. You're always using the sides that make the right angle. So when I do the area, which I'm going to click it and write it down, I'm going to do 10.2 times 10.2 over 2. One more. So 10.2 times 10.2 over 2. So punch that in. Round to whatever. So 52, I'm going to put a generic label on it because I can't help myself. It didn't say we're in centimeters, inches, or anything like that. So I'm just going to put the generic unit squared on here. Got it. Okay, and last thing, perimeter. Well, how do you find perimeter of any figure? What do you do with the sides? Add them up. So I'm just going to go back to my picture here, and we're just going to add up the sides. So I'm going to do 10.2 plus 10.2 plus 14.4. Really, I probably don't need any work for that. Just punch it in your calculator. Okay, so punch all of that in. And what do you got for perimeter? Got it. And again, it didn't give me centimeters, inches, millimeters, whatever. I'm just going to say units. Piece of cake. So, I didn't put any distance formula problems on yesterday's homework. Not that today's is all distance formula. It is not. There's a couple problems with it. So I'm going to leave this up here so it's in front of you. You are going to have to use that just for the record. Now, before I give you that,